I'm Ben.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Ben and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener.
Bon Jovi is up next on our DJ Nick stream.
Bon Jovi. Yes, the
Wanted.
big homie DJ Nick.
Wanted, dead or alive.
I don't know if like the theme is 80s or drummers who were singing, but so far all the songs are from the 80s. Well, the other one was 79, which still counts as 80s, right? And then the last two had the drummer singing. So I'm not sure. All right, here we go. Wanted, dead or alive. The name of the band is Bon Jovi. I don't know. You may have heard of them before. Let's check it out. Did you know about Bon Jovi before the channel?
I never heard his stuff.
His stuff? It's an entire band.
Well, yes. Their stuff.
I've heard this. This thing right here?
Yeah. Okay.
It's all the same. Only the names will change every day. It seems we're wasting away. Another place where the faces are so cold. I drive all night just to get back home. I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride. I'm wanted, dead or alive. Wanted, dead or alive. Sometimes I sleep, sometimes it's not for days. The people I meet always go their separate ways. Sometimes you tell the day by the bottle that you drink. Times when you're alone, all you do is think. I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride. I'm wanted, dead or alive. Wanted,
comment from Amy.
Oh, I read it.
I can't read it. My eyes are blurry. What does it say?
Your eyes are not blurry, you loser.
Saying, the only embarrassing thing about music is not liking Bach. Well, I mean, obviously, but who would do such a thing? The great Richie Sambora on guitar. I thought... Okay, so I've heard that intro before. The ding.
You did?
Yeah, I've heard that before. Which means I've probably heard this song before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't really...
I'm surprised I never heard it before.
I didn't hear this growing up, to be honest with you. Remember when we did Grunge Week? I'm like, yeah, I remember playing Nintendo, and I don't remember hearing this, but I do remember that acoustic thing in Majiggy, but who knows? Okay, so I thought this was actually a really brilliant way to talk about... To me, this is them saying that the rock star life is not as glamorous as people think it is.
Oh.
So he was doing a sort of a correlation between being in his band, on the Steel Horse I Ride.
Yeah.
Would be the tour bus. He's got a loaded 6-string on his back instead of a loaded 6-shooter. The guys in the old West had a 6-shooter. He's got a loaded 6-string. So he's correlating the life of basically an outlaw cowboy to being a rock star.
Yeah. And I think we've talked about this before, about how, people want to put you up on a pedestal and crucify you at the same time.
Yes.
So he's feeling that. He's feeling that sort of, like, the fans and how they feel about him, but at the same time, like,
where do you
the way
get the
that
crucifixion part on it? Is it?
No, it's not in here. It's just when he says wanted dead or alive.
Oh, yeah.
That, to me, is that feeling, understanding that, they love you, but they'll smother you to death also. They're,
Well, what is fascinating, actually, on that point, it's really, really interesting because I don't think in rock as much, but definitely in certain metal communities, you almost want the artist
oh no
in serious pain.
Oh,
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's almost like people get nostalgic about the pain of the artist, and so you kind of want the artist to always be like that, in which case you kind of want them dead. And it's fascinating what we do with artists when they die versus if they remain artists for too long.
Yep.
So, for example, if Kanye West would have died at 27, he would have been up there with Biggie and Tupac, no bullshit. I completely believe that. But because Kanye was able to, live past and hit his 40s, now it's like, we'll mock him, we'll say this, we'll say that, blah, 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 blah. It's very rare that you get a long career without people having a season where they turn on you. So it's almost at some subliminal level. Like, for example, like Jimi Hendrix, I think he's great. I think he's a great guitarist. I mean, I'm a guitarist, so obviously you got to kind of bow the knee to Jimmy, but I don't think he's like as crazy as people say he is. Like, I feel like dude from Zeppelin, Led Zeppelin, is pretty crazy. I think there's a lot of people that are like, that have done amazing things with the guitar, but he died and he's a part of the 27 Club. So I think on a real like esoteric level, like, it's true. Like, we want them, dead or alive. And if you live too long, then you're going to be treated like an outlaw cowboy, and people are going to go after you.
Yep.
The first time I noticed this was with Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber was this kid. He became one of the first like YouTube sensations. Got a record deal. Became a millionaire overnight. He was everywhere. Yada yada yada. And then for some reason, like a couple years into his career, the meter turned on him. He started doing drugs, and it was just like, making fun of Justin. Oh, you listen to Justin Bieber. It's like, wait a second. This is the same apparatus that was saying that he was like on top of the world. He was this big singing sensation. Now you're mocking him and whatever, and driving this kid to drug use and all the rest of it. So it's a very fascinating way to think about it if you interpret dead or alive in a more literal way, because it seems to me that we like our particularly rock stars. We like our rock stars that not to get into their 30s. Jeez. We like them dead, and when they're alive, then after a while, we mock them. You know, Elvis, it's a, you know, there are very few people, very few bands, or very few, you know, personalities that are able to maintain that sort of God status without going through a period where people were mocking you and trying to crucify you and all that. So.
Like Metallica and Iron Maiden, bands like that.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Metallica went through it with the Black Album. It's like, oh, you're selling out and blah, 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 blah. And yeah. Perfect example would be Britney Spears. Same thing.
That was really sad.
Same thing. Like, you know, and it's weird because it's like, there's real hostility toward these people.
Yeah.
And like, she was melting down. She was going through some of the worst periods of her life in front, and it was ruthless.
Yep.
Ruthless. Like, she had, you know, she came out of a car one time and she didn't have undergarments on, so they made a big, they took pictures of that part of her body, blasted it, everybody was laughing at her. She lost her mind, started cutting her hair, people make, I was like, wait a second, what's going on? Like, why is this okay to do this to this person? Like, why? What have they done? They're the same person that you were celebrating and giving all these awards 2 years ago. Now you're crucifying them. So very, very good point.
Yeah.
So it's all the same, only the names will change. Every day it seems we're wasting away. Another place where the faces are so cold, I drive all night just to get back home. So he's touring, and it's like, what are you talking about, cold faces? What do you mean? Well, yeah, at the show, there are not cold faces, but you're going from city to city to city. And so not everybody worships you as a rock star. So you're literally a stranger everywhere you go.
That I thought of that like when we actually, it was our first show. We saw Neil Viscaris actually.
Shout out to Neo, gang.
Yeah. And we were walking on the sidewalk and you were like, yo, that's the singer. And I was like, huh?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that you recognized him.
Yeah.
And then when I saw Zen on stage later, I thought to myself, if Zen walks through the city, he's not going to be like, he's up on the stage right now and everybody's like loving what he's doing.
Yeah.
But he can't walk around like that without getting shafted by people.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people are going to see the long black hair, the nails, the aesthetically what he looks like, and they're going to, yeah. And he's going to get ostracized. So I can definitely see how, you know, they did have a certain look that worked for them. I mean, they had a certain look that worked for them on the stage, but then
in our subculture,
right?
But Zen, you know, I mean,
even if you look at, I don't know enough about the time, but I'm looking at, you know, what they look like here. You know what I'm saying? Bon Jovi, the band Bon Jovi's in, and it looks, you know, they get the hair, that, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like your regular guy was walking around looking like that.
Yeah, people
so I can see, yeah.
Yeah, and again, as a person who moved a lot, it does suck to always be in a city you don't know your way around. You don't know what the coffee shops are. Sure, if you're an established massive musician, sure, but just at the human cost of being in a bus for 14, 15 hours, then getting let out, going into a hotel, finding some place to eat. It's not what people think it is.
The
it
other
really
thing
isn't.
too that, and I don't know, I can't speak for everybody, but like, so before, my mom always did the cooking when we were growing up, or somebody in the family did the cooking growing up. So we always had home cooked meals, and you always looked at people that got to eat out. You're like, wow, you guys are so lucky. And then you started, when I was going through all that chaos in my life, you started buying a lot of takeout for me, like nice takeout, Longhorn and all different places like that. You know what I mean? Which is, I couldn't believe it. It was like unbelievable to me. I'm like, this stuff is amazing. And then once you eat that stuff enough, you're like, yo, just want to have a home cooked meal. And even like while I'm pregnant, like I'm sick a lot. And so you're like, hey, let me just get takeout for you. But I'm like, I want home.
You got sick of it.
I want home meals. And so I think, oh my word, like these guys traveling and these girls that are in bands, they're traveling all over the place and you're always stuck to takeout. You know, it's not like you can, you know, you've got your whole kitchen and you can do a nice lasagna or a nice, you know, whatever. So yeah, I think that's another another difficulty of the road. But yeah, I mean, lyrically, again, it was, and I don't know, maybe this is a thing for the 80s, like, not a lot of lyrics. They got their point across, and you know what's so weird? When it's, I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride, I just took that as the guitar again. I didn't think of this, the bus, like...
Rides his guitar?
Well, like, you're gonna ride it hard, like, like, you're gonna play it hard, like, I thought that's what he was getting at, but then when you said the bus, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. The bus.
I mean, the horse.
I
mean,
know.
the transportation.
Yes. I know, I get it. Anyway, so, this one for me was probably like a, 8.9.
What?
What? Jeez, what?
This is a 10 for me.
Whoa, okay, why?
Well, it was, there's a lot of variance musically. Mm-hmm. He was singing about a real life issue. He took that metaphor and used it in a multitude of different angles that I really appreciate and respected. Lyrically, it was up there. And I just don't think, even though I'm not familiar with this song or this band that much, I don't think you can tell the story of rock and roll without Bon Jovi. And this is probably, I haven't YouTubed it yet, but this is probably one of their bigger songs. So for that, I'm going to have to go and give it a solid 10. What'd you give it? A
solid 10. I get an 8.9.
Okay, Amy Lee is wrong with you. So there's that.
We're never wrong.
Oh! She means that literally. Vin out!
Sorry out.
Gone! All right, dear listener.
Queensryche is next.
Queensryche is next. Silent Lucidity, I think.